People over 35 years of age. What's something that is rightfully accepted today that would have made you a target for ridicule when you were young? My glasses. I have had bifocals since I was 11 months old. I was teased all through school, and even as a late teen my friends would follow me around and hoot. I wore contacts through my 20s for this reason. Now, get complimented on my glasses anytime I go out in public, and my husband prefers them BC. He thinks they make me look cute. Also my freckles, I'm covered head to toe and was teased relentlessly. But now it's part of a lot of women's daily makeup routine. Heck, some people are getting freckles tattooed on their face. My fondness for unicorns. I never outgrew the childhood unicorn phase most little girls go through. But after the age of about 12 I had to keep it a secret because other kids are horrible. Anything I had with unicorns on it would get destroyed or defaced. It was so stupid and made me feel like there was something wrong with me. I'm 36 now and still love unicorns. I get more compliments on my unicorn tattoo than on all my other tattoos combined. Being out and gay. I think back to high school and the poor kids who endured torment and bullying until they graduated. The school had no policy on bullying, and every day must have been hellish. Occasionally a teacher might intervene, but none of their peers would dare get involved lest they be accused of being gay. Very sad. My niece is in college now. But when she was a senior in HS, a gay couple went to her senior prom. School didn't care at all. Nor did their classmates. Being gay, being a guy wearing nail polish, earrings, makeup, or skirts because then you'd look gay. Neurodivergence is more recognized and accepted now compared to then. In communication styles and social awkwardness back then were the same as those people are now, and I don't think there's many more neurotypical people being truly welcoming to ND folks now than before. Unnatural hair colors, for the lack of a better word. You'll find 60-year-old with bright red hair now who aren't even very progressive or modern. I see older ladies with purple hair now. Love it. Wish my hair wasn't so difficult. Also nail polish that's not reddish. Blue, black, green, it's all normal now. Hair extensions and acrylic nails seem to be more widespread now too. I can't believe I get to chime in as an old man now. Fuck anything gay. Liking anything nerdy geeky, especially technology like computers, and definitely online dating. Living with parents past 18. Not having a car. Probably a lot more. Growing up, any deviation from the norm meant you were ridiculed in general, even especially by boomer parents. When I was growing up, teenagers made fun of poor kids. I felt like there was a period recently where teenagers made fun of rich kids. Till I do recognize that current dipshit TikTokers made a shift back to making fun of poor kids. Again. Also, spending too much time indoors. I was kinda embarrassed that I went to my friend's house to play video games. Might be a UK thing, but pre-1995 or so men would get ridiculed for having a shoulder bag, messenger bag, man bag, or whatever you want to call it. I had one trendsetter, lol, and was called all sorts of names. People would say nice handbag, etc. Acceptable things for a guy to carry at that time were rucksack, sports bag, or briefcase. They were manly. Being gay in the 80s in most places in the US, homophobia was the norm. Everyone was attacked when we were young for being gay. It was the go-to slur, and yes, it was a slur then. I am glad the culture has changed. Now if only the same thing would happen for bisexual men to be accepted for who they are and not criticized for being gay and in denial. I'm Gen X. In my late 40s, my kid is part of the LGBT community. When they came out at school, everyone was super supportive, from the kids to the teachers, which was awesome. Back when I was in school, even the suggestion you were gay was social suicide. Gen Z gets a lot of shit about things, but they can teach us a lot about acceptance. A bunch of young women sitting around a table and opening talking about the ups and downs of our cycle, pregnancy, and later on about perimenopause and menopause. Till this day, if I ask my mother about her pregnancies or menopause, she becomes very uncomfortable. At times refuses to talk about it, especially if my father is around. Take, thick, talky glasses, that's what they prefer now. For guys, big, thick mustaches with no connecting facial hair. Just a big Tom Selleck mustache. Computer use that seems excessive. Or video games. Gluten aversion, any process, surgical or otherwise, to obtain swollen big lips. Anal bleaching, oxygen bars. Lots of geek-type hobbies like Warhammer, Dungeons and Dragons, and tabletop miniature gaming in general enjoy much more acceptance today than they did in the past. When I was at school in the 90s, you were a social pariah if you were caught at school with a copy of White Dwarf. There was a real stigma to those hobbies. Not really ridicule, but people with visible tattoos like on forearms or neck were assumed gang members or was in prison. Most places wouldn't hire someone with visible tattoos. You never saw a local grocery store employee with a full tattoo sleeve. Now people have Hello Kitty tattoo sleeves. I don't know if it's been said, and I'd hate to say it, being fat. I'm 63, and when I was a kid there would be maybe one kid in our class slightly overweight. Sadly, it is somewhat the norm in the USA. Don't attack me for pointing that out. Most people were actually skinny when I was a kid. I don't think young people today really understand how far being openly gay has become accepted in society. Gay was a normal insult when I was in high school, and I'm from a highly progressive area. It was just common for teenage boys to insult each other by calling someone gay. Mind you, I grew up in the rural deep south, but if electric hybrid cars were as prominent in 2000-2005 as they are now, you might as well have painted a target on you. If it didn't make loud noise, get 8 miles to the gallon or go ridiculously fast, as a male you were done for. Saying you were gay or queer was still a very, very difficult proposition until about maybe 15 years ago. 18 years ago tops. Some people still dared to do it, that they had harassment and ridicule hurled in their direction. The 90s was a shithole in that regard. Women not shaving, though it's still taboo. When I don't want to. I don't get the ridicule I would have years ago. Letting your hair turn grey-white, and loving it especially for women. I'm not there yet, but I've got 6'10" silvers that I'm super proud of. Apparently, it's acceptable now to wear your rucksack on both shoulders. Also, it appears that there is no longer an urgent requirement to hide the tied part of your shoelaces by tucking them inside the trainers in a way that's mildly unpleasant feeling. Inside it even remotely girlish, like wear a pink shirt, or do dance theatre, or admit to playing with doll. Then he would be called gay and homo and worse, and would be relentlessly bullied for it. Wearing glasses. When I was growing up in 1976, I was 10, and I remember people having the piss taken because they were specs. The names they were called, and I join in. While they had the last laugh, course I had to put my glasses on to type this. Anyone older than 16 obsessively playing video games, wearing a seatbelt when in a car with friends, wearing longer shorts, those were dorky old man clothes back in the day. Creepy looking short shorts were the thing for males back then. Having a child on purpose with someone you were dating and not married to. I still don't understand it. Accidents happen. I'm not a prude, but if you aren't in love enough to get married, why are you trying to have a kid or two together? Not being cisher. Race anything wrong with being cisher. Just back in the 90s, the two people who were out of the closet in my high school got beat up often. Enough that the rest of us never even thought about risking it. Wearing a hat or cap indoors used to be an affront to courtesy. Now baseball caps are ubiquitous. My father-in-law almost disowned us when I defended our son, who didn't remove his baseball cap. WGRN. He came inside the house, playing video games, not being racist, men with long hair, women with short hair, not being Christian, men expressing emotion, acknowledging mental health issues, getting good grades, being a nerd, just off the top of my head. Watching people play video games, even just playing video games was nerdy, but specifically watching someone else play video games was something my parents would give me shit for. Now there's a whole industry around it. Being gay would have been a problem when I was a kid. Now it's completely normalized. I think we view computer screens now how they viewed books in the past. It was seen as leisure and sloth before you became well read. I'm not 35 yet, But in the past 15 body hair on women has become more acceptable. Overall, I don't feel the need to shave my body from head to toe anymore. But some Indian aunties still make comments about my hairy arms. Shopping second-hand consignment stores. I used to check the street before going into Goodall with my mum, hoping no one saw me. We had nice clothes, but still was made fun of. Thrift shops or gift shop, so yeah. Well, when I was younger I always said I liked tattoos and would get some. DUT never anywhere that couldn't be concealed in a basic t-shirt. Now, at 37, and after 16 years at the same job, I have a firearm tattoo. Being a crazy cat lady, it's way less of an insult these days thanks to the internet and celebrities showing off their felines. Super successful, rich, and in relationships and still loving cats dispels old cliches. There was exactly one kid in my high school who had a cell phone. Her parents were rich and she had tons of expensive crap. People made fun of her phone because it seemed so unnecessary. Little did we know. Dressing home casual at work. Well, not exactly ridicule, but you'd be sent home to go change into some professional clothing. At minimum, some office space acceptable khaki pants with a decent shirt and tie. Dating apps or websites, they were ridiculed really, and seen as only desperate people with red flags or married people looking for affairs. No one would even confess to meeting via Harmony or Tinder, etc. A kid being non-binary at school and the teachers being required to use their chosen names and pronouns. People sitting in the same room messing with their mini computers and not talking.